Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to what happens soon after death. So I did one with Swami Taramananda, so I'm going to hear what hopefully Lakhani has to say. I don't know, I think Lakhani speaks in this one. So let's go ahead and hear what Lakhani has to say about it. It's loud.
If you look at the situation in the world today, look at all the whole of humanity, there are three major worldviews. There may be others. The three major. One is the atheistic worldview. They say this life is the only life you got, Mr. Lakhani. Live it to the full and forget about all this airy-fairy stuff, being reborn, all that. It's just to give you comfort in death. There's no such thing. This is the only life you focus on. Life before death counts, not life after death. This is how they talk to me, and I say, I like you. So they value life. What's wrong? Nothing wrong. This is one approach. And you must appreciate why they are adopting this. Like David Hume was a major philosopher. He lived a very peaceful, lovely life. And he said, okay, end is coming, I'm dying. No, he's not worked up about it, dying. So I love these kind of people. So I have no problem with this idea of first approach, atheistic approach, saying this is the only life, make the most of it. Don't wait on the next life. Good.
So this is my belief as well. That, I have no proof or no experience of previous past lives or anything like that, nor do I necessarily see. I mean, hey, maybe some people are reborn or whatever. Kind of like I said in other videos, there's a young girl that seems to remember like certain things of her past life, and archaeologists dug in its locations and found what she said. Is that proof enough? Not enough for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's very weird. I would definitely have to look into it deeply to see what exactly happened. It could have been a made-up story by someone just to try to spread whatever they want to spread. But for me personally, I don't know that. There's no guarantee for me that there is a next life or not. I don't know for sure. So I have to live this life the best I can. That I know for sure. I can't depend on probabilities or what ifs or whatever. Probabilities, not probabilities, but like what ifs kind of scenario. And I think even if you do believe in rebirth, there's still live your best life. I guess the core idea is that whether rebirth exists or not, is to live this life the best that you can. If there's a rebirth, that's fantastic. Then live that life the best you can too. If this is the only life, then still live your this life the best you can. So hey, look, if I've been reborning over and over again, hopefully I lived all my previous lives the best I can. I don't know for sure. I know how I'm living this life. That's the only thing I know at the moment. If for some odd reason I remember something in my past, I'm not going to exactly know whether that's true or not, because I have no way of confirming that. It could have been just, the brain itself is of the material realm, and itself degrades and misperceive things. Our eyes are not perfect. We can't see things correctly. Sometimes in the dark we see things that are not actually there. Sometimes we hear things that are not actually there. So we could maybe remember memories of things that were not actually memories. It's just a combination of one memory from 10 years ago and another memory from last week, and those two got mixed up because the human body is very fallible, and to take anything, I guess, in this material too seriously could be problematic. But obviously we can highly depend on all of our faculties, but things that are a bit out of the norm, it's a bit of the question for me.
The second scenario we have from the Abrahamic tradition, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, is the idea of a two-life scenario. Sometimes they say this purgatory, a place where you get tidied up, cleaned up. But this is, if you like, the second version. I won't go into great depth about it, but this is, if you like, the Christian version. And in a way, it is very important. Do you know why? What's the selling point? It makes sure that the devotees are true devotees. They are stickler for the religion because they can't risk it in case they go in the wrong place. So they become very devout. They can't sit on the fence. So in a way, it focuses their attention on being truly religious. So that's the positive side. The negative side, I must mention this, that creates fanatics. Because they want to go and achieve that, they might as well blow themselves up here. See, this is the negative part. It creates fanatics. Because this two-life scenario, this infinitely skewed risk-reward ratio produces fanatics. This is the negative part. The positive part, It tells the people, be truly religious here and now, this life. Be truly true religious. The third.
Okay, before we go to the third one, and I do believe in that too. Like again, even people who don't believe in God, they still can have their own extreme point of views. No matter whether you believe in God, believe in an afterlife, or don't believe in any of all those things, there's going to be far extremists and non-extremists in these things. It's just the way humans are, and it's kind of sad to give religious people, non-religious people bad names. You know. I don't. There's nothing inherently wrong being atheist or religious, because you as an individual must be judged for your own personal actions, not as a group. What someone else did has no effects on you per se. Obviously, unless they directly affected you. But in terms of your actions, should be only your fault, not someone else's fault.
Scenario is, of course, the idea of reincarnation. Buddhist tradition call it slightly different. They call it rebirth for technical reasons. I won't go into that. But the idea of reincarnation is central in the four Indian religions. They say we've been born again and again, we'll come again and again, and we continue our spiritual journey over many lifetimes. It has been going on for a long time. It is not going to finish that easily. Because you've got so many frustrations and desires and unfulfilled desires that you need to fulfill. So you'll find another body and you'll come back and carry on your journey. But the good part about it is it gives you measured reward for the measured risk you take or the measured work you do. Suppose you're a musician in one life and you died early for whatever reason. The effort that you put in is not lost. It stays part of your mental mode. And when you're reborn, according to the Hindu tradition, that feature appears, makes itself visible at a very early stage. So you become a child prodigy, become Mozart and start composing operas. So this is the positive. Your journey doesn't stop with one life. It gives you measured reward for the measured work you put in. This is the positive side. Is there a negative side? The Hindus are saying, it can't be negative. It's a lovely idea. We like the chocolate cake, we'll come back again and have it again next life. This is not a lovely idea. So how can Mr. Lakhani, there's a negative side, there's a negative, very dangerous negative side, and you are very aware of it. You know what's the negative side of reincarnation? People don't realize it, but I watch it and I know. The Hindus say, you see, we have got so many opportunities to be born and reborn, and this religious journey and meditating and you can wait. In this life, Bollywood, let's go for these dancing girls. So they forget about making serious spiritual progress in this life because they got so many opportunities. They let it go. They are laid back about religion. And how do we know? Amisha was just telling me in the car. There's a huge Hindu community here, and how many have turned up here today? Just look at it. They become too laid back. This is the negative part of reincarnation. People don't realize we have a negative. This is the negative part. Because it says, oh, no rush. Actually, I prefer this kind of more focus of saying, no, in this life I want to sort it out. And the question that the gentleman asked was, what is the end solution? What happens? The end we call, in the Hindu tradition we call moksha. In the Jain tradition they call nirvana. We call it moksha. Now moksha is a beautiful Sanskrit term. We say moha kshaya. When your delusion regarding what is this reality, why am I chasing after pleasurable things and I must have that and I must marry that beautiful, why? All this delusion that you have about fulfilling your desires and how you hope that when you marry the beautiful girl things will be sorted out, they don't get sorted out. Ask anybody who's married a beautiful lady. So they carry on. Other issues arise, no end of them. And you say, oh God, that was a delusion.
Oh God, I thought there was going to be more. So, I would say if I were to be blunt, I suppose the point of reincarnation, well, it's going to be, well, if reincarnation is true, everything else prior to what is said about the fanatics of religious and the atheistic point of view is going to be amplified, I suppose. Because if those teachings follow you through life, which would not make too much sense, but let's say they do follow you through your birth, or at least maybe your karma does. And then, well, maybe it will exacerbate or increase the strength of whatever it is that you're doing in your previous life into this life. You become, there's that possibility. Then maybe that's the reason why fanatics exist, is the fact that, maybe this what we're doing in their previous life has now come back to them now and has made it even more. They're continuing to build that that fanatic life. In this lays true to people who are progressing in a spiritual path, where if they can remember their past, I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming if they can remember their past lives, they can continue their spiritual path to further into liberation. And for atheistic people, it's like, well, you know, this is the only life you ever had. Whether you've been reborn 50 million times or not, you know, it's still the one and only life. Was it YOLO? YOLO? YOLO or Yogo? YOLO? YOLO, you only live once. There you go. YOLO, 50 million rebirths. But yeah, and either way, I'm not exactly sure. Again, I guess I still have to understand a bit more of rebirth, whether your memories. Oh, Sadhguru says your karmic memories, as in your habits and stuff. Maybe not your actual memories, because your actual memories are in your brain, which is part of the material realm. But your genetic memory and all of that may be reborn into another person. Your habits, again, like Sadhguru says, your grandfather's nose is on your nose. So I still do need to understand a bit more about rebirth and how it works. I know it's a bit different between Buddhism and Hinduism. Buddhism is there's no God or anything. The only thing that exists in life, I believe, is this energy that progresses through every body. Once it leaves the body, it goes to the next body. Where I think in Hinduism is a little bit different, where you can be liberated from being reborn in this life. Where I think Buddhism, no, you're stuck being constantly being reborn. In Hinduism, you're that same way too, but you have a chance of being liberated, where you can be released from this rebirthing cycle. Anyways, that's my reaction to what happens soon after death. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid. Vid.